Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. This is Nathan Hale here. I am drawing from my studio in Utah. It's still bright and sunshiny here today. Look at this. You can see on my face the sun shining in on my face through the window. I like to draw while I'm talking, though, so I'm going to share my screen with everybody. Since I'm a cartoonist, I never stop drawing. Does everybody see this right now? There we go. So, I am Nathan Hale. I'm the author and illustrator of the Hazardous Tales series. And here's the crazy thing. This is the 10th book in the series. I cannot believe I have done 10 Hazardous Tales books. I can probably count on one hand how many series I've read that have 10 books in them. I can't believe I've drawn 10 books. This is over 1,000 pages of cartooning right here. I imagine there are some of you in the Zoom that have read all of these. That is amazing to me that there are 10 of them. The crazy thing was we were going to do the craziest book tour of all time. We were going to do 10 cities in 10 days. It was going to be amazing. I got tired thinking about it. The people at Abrams, my publisher, they started planning this like a year ago. We were going to go to all of the cities that were part of the stories in the Hazardous Tales. Like, we were going to go to Louisiana. We were going to go to Connecticut, where Nathan Hale is. We were going to go to Virginia, where the Big Bad Ironclad took place. We were even going to go to Hawaii to look at Pearl Harbor and do a presentation there. It was going to be completely insane. And it all got canceled. You guys know why. Because of our new favorite horrible friend, the coronavirus. There it is. Let's see if I can. There we go. I can zoom in and out there. Oh, I hate it. Let's get rid of it. So instead, I'm zooming with these cities. And what we want to do is tell a little story about the characters who are popular in that area. And you guys are there in Connecticut, which is where the hero of my stories, Nathan Hale, is from. There's all kinds of Nathan Hale sites and things there. And I want to tell a story about Nathan Hale that is not in any of the books. This is actually a story about the statue of Nathan Hale. Now, Nathan Hale went to Yale. That's his big claim to fame, or Yale's big claim to fame, is that they had Nathan Hale there. And so they have this really beautiful statue of Nathan Hale. Let me pull it up right here. There it is. Look at that. Isn't that great? Very cool statue. We don't know if that's exactly what he looked like. The author had a whole bunch of Yale, the sculptor had a whole bunch of Yale students line up, and he chose the most handsome one, and that's who he based the sculpture on. But it's this amazing sculpture. It kind of, I imagine it's the sculptor trying to capture the moment when he says his famous last words. Look at this, his feet are bound together. He doesn't have the big ruffle on his shirt like the one that I draw does, but this is the statue of Nathan Hale on Yale campus. Now, I was doing some research about this statue, and I came across the weirdest and craziest story on the internet. And I thought, this is a crazy story. I got to know more about this story. So what is the story? The CIA, the spy agency, the Central Intelligence Agency, wanted to have a statue of Nathan Hale, just like Yale had. Why? Because he was a spy. And they're the CIA, they're the top spies. They wanted a statue like the one at Yale. So they went and talked to the people at Yale and said, hey, we would love to get a cast of that Nathan Hale statue so that we can have a similar statue at our campus in Langley, Virginia, where CIA headquarters is. And the people at Yale said, no way, you can't do it. That's our Nathan Hale statue. We're not giving it away. The CIA was angry. They're like, we're the CIA. If we want a statue, we will get a statue. And the story I read online said that some helicopters flew over Yale and some CIA agents dropped down in the middle of the night and they crept up to the Nathan Hale statue, and somehow they were able to get a full cast of the entire statue. Casting a full-size human statue would be crazy. They would have had to have a whole box filled with wax or something, and then they squeeze it together in the dark of night while all the college kids were asleep. They took measurements of the base, and then they carefully went back up into their helicopter with all of this casting copied of the statue. They went, found a foundry in Virginia, and had their own Nathan Hale statue made, identical to the one at Yale. That's the story that I read on the internet. And I told that story a couple of times to people because I thought it was so cool. But then I did some more research. See, when you write history comics, you got to spend a lot of time doing research. And I researched and I found out that story is completely made up. And who made it up? Tour guides at Yale. These people are college students, and their job is to take parents around the campus at Yale and tell stories about the different statues. And you know what the game they like to play is? They like to see who can tell the biggest lie about each statue. And whoever made up that lie about the Nathan Hale statue really nailed it, because I have come across that story many times digging through Nathan Hale stuff on the internet. Be careful when you research that you are not coming across some crazy lie. Yes, the CIA has a copy of that statue, but they got it in broad daylight. They came and got a casting of it. These kids at Yale turned it into a crazy lie. But that is my Nathan Hale story.